Hi friends, SBC Fest 2024 is just around the corner, and so today I'm sharing my homework video with you. I'm so excited to be one of the instructors, and we are going to be creating two beautiful layouts with lots of die cutting, which is my favorite technique. We're going to be featuring lots of my favorite die cuts or die cut sets from scrapbook.com, and so in today's video, I'm going to show you the core essential products that you need for my class that are available over at scrapbook.com in a bundle as well as separately. And then we also are going to show you the homework that we have for today and also talk about what supplies you're going to need for the day of class. So let's go ahead and turn it over to my desktop and we'll look at the tools and supplies that we'll need. Now we're going to be featuring this beautiful brand new 6x8 paper pad from scrapbook.com called Market Bloom. I love it. It has all of these beautiful fruit images, but look at the florals. It almost has a tropical vibe to it with these dark greens and then the reds, oranges, and pinks. It's so beautiful. There's a dark navy in this collection as well. So in this paper pad, you get 5 of each sheet. It's a nice thick weight and perfect for die cutting. I love that you get some B-side patterns like this plaid, this pink floral. Look at this pink dot stripe. Isn't that cute? It kind of reminds me of like the adhesive roller with the dots on it. I love that. Perfect for us crafters, right? There's the oranges. On the back of that, you have the watermelon pattern. I'll just flip through this. I love that there's this orange stripe. You even get some solids that are great for our die cutting. So we have that solid red. There's this beautiful lemon pattern and this golden orange, kind of a golden yellow scallop pattern. Kind of reminds me of a pineapple. I love that. And then we have this darling butterfly pattern with the squares on the back. And then another floral. Isn't that pretty with the dark green on the back? And then finally this darling stripe with the little dots. And on the back of that one, you have this beautiful rich navy. I've been loving crafting with navy lately, so I'm really going to love this. So we're going to work with this and also lots of die cuts. So there's the coordinating die set for this called the fruit shape set. And this creates watermelons and oranges. You have, you can do lemons and limes with these slices. There's also little umbrellas. So let me show you the back so you can get an idea. I love the leaf images in here. We're going to be using lots of those as filler in our project. So there is quite a bit of die cutting on this project because that is my favorite. So let me show you this other set we're going to be using, this sunflower die. Oh my gosh, this is my new favorite flower die. I'll show you the flower that I created with this. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to incorporate this adorable small butterfly from the layered butterfly set. And then for our title, we're going to be working with the bold basic alphabet die from scrapbook.com. This is my favorite die set from them. It's a nice thick font so that if you die cut from pattern paper or something like that, it has enough real estate in the width that you can see that pattern. There's also a coordinating number set for that. And then finally, we're going to be using this this is called Happy Little Sentiments. It's this cute little stamp set. And I use this all the time. This is a brand new one just because I wanted it to look pretty for the video. But I've been using this for years because it's perfect for not only scrapbooking, but card making as well. So lots of great phrases for both. But then there's words in here that you can stamp by just using, you know, like we're going to cover some of the phrases with the mint tape and just like stamp the word favorite or smile. Where is it? Or hello. So this is a really fun set. So I'm excited to get started. Let's show you the die cutting that we're going to be doing for our projects. And a reminder, yes, there's lots of die cutting, but we're going to be creating two layouts, two gorgeous layouts that I'm really proud of. And I think you're going to have fun doing that. Okay, so let me first turn up this image. This is a diagram for pointing the wrong way, for layout number 1. And this is going to show you all of the pieces that we need to die cut. I have them on a tray, so let me pull them in. It looks like a lot, but it's actually, you'll see, it's just because I've broken it out into sections, and it will take some time to set up. So I have these gorgeous little daisies that you're going to create using that sunflower die. Isn't that pretty? I love how the outline piece layers in among all the different layers and just creates a really beautiful fluffy flower image. And then you can see how we've used the flower center that has that embossing detail, and then it has a ring shape that finishes it off. So I'm going to show you the pieces and what you need for each of those sunflowers. We'll actually put one together. But just going down the list real quick, let's show you the rest of the pieces that you'll need for the first layout. Now, up by the title, it says one 6x4 horizontal photo. So you will need one horizontal 6x4 photo, and I've just matted mine with 1/8 of an inch of white cardstock. So you'll want to prepare that for your first layout. Now, going down the list, top to bottom, you will need 3 daisies. Now, for each of those daisies, you're going to need 2 of the layers of everything. So, for example, there's the solid large one. You need 2 of those. So that's for one. So because we're creating because we're creating 3 daisies total, you'll need 6 of these total. I hope that's making sense. So for each flower, you'll need 2 of those. I'm just going to set them up here for a second, and then I'll show you how to shape them before coming to class. Then you'll need to die cut for each daisy 2 of these. This is an outline image, but we're also going to be utilizing the inside piece, which has smaller or thinner flower petals. So you'll need 2 of those. So here I have 2 of the outline images, and then I'm saving the inside floral pieces. So we will set those aside up here. Now, because we're creating 3 daisies total, you'll need to run those 2 dies through your machine 6 times. Then you'll see the inside pieces. So there's that embossed scent piece, and then here is the ring. So you have the ring with a little circle inside. For this particular flower, for the first layout, we're using both. So let me pull my final one in here again. You have the inside embossed piece, and then we finish off the edge with that ring. Okay, now going down the list, you'll need from the fruit die set, everything else is from the fruit die set as far as our homework. You will need 3 small limes. So you'll see that there's a small and a large lemon and lime. You want to use 3 small limes. And I'm going to show you the papers that we did for this. We have 2 large lemons. That's the larger one. So I have those set up there. You'll need 1 whole small orange. So do you see this embossed circle? So that's a whole orange. We're going to be using the smaller one. And then I just die cut this little leaf stem to go on the top from the dark green paper. So you'll need 1 of those. You'll need 1 large orange slice, which looks like this. So if you look here, we have the outer ring and then the inner ring. There's a small size and a larger size. Here's the smaller outer ring, or the base. So you'll need 1 large orange slice. You'll need 1 small orange slice. So there's that one there. Then you'll see that we have some watermelon pieces. We have the large half wedge, or half slice, I should say. I just called that 1 large watermelon. And then you have a wedge. We're going to need 1 of each. And for this particular layout, we're using dark green and then that pink polka dot paper. So you'll need 1 large watermelon with the 3 different layers, the dark green base layer, the white middle layer, and then the polka dot pink top layer. Then you'll need a wedge with the same papers, dark green, white, and the polka dot pink, okay? And then finally, we're going to die cut lots of leaves and some butterflies. So we have these small leaves here. Let me show them to you on the set. This small leaf here, we want 5 of those. I think I die cut out 6 just because I don't know, I was running it through with some other branches and I just was utilizing a little space. So there we have our little 5 leaves, or 6, whatever I did down there, but you only will need 5. And then we need some leaf branches that we're going to use as filler. So there's this solid set here that has this cut line for the leaves. And then look, there's a coordinating outline leaf. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to be using both of those on the first layout. So you'll need 9 solid branches. I have those laying here. There's a little look at those. I'll separate them so you can see them a little better. And then you'll need 5 of the outline branches. These look so cute tucked in among the fruit and flowers that we're going to be using. And I love that you have the variety with the 2 different leaves. Now at the very bottom of this list, you need the butterflies. So I'm going to have you cut 3 small butterflies. We're not going to use any of the big shapes. We're only using this shape right here. So 3 butterflies in navy and 3 butterflies in white. And what you're going to end up doing is actually adhering those 2 layers together. Do you see how I have the navy one adhered on top of the white one? I've only attached them at the body of the butterfly, and that's so that I can bend at the wings, and you kind of get the shadow effect with the white and navy on the project. Super, super cute. So there's the long list of die cutting, which I know it looks like a lot, but oh my gosh, wait until you see how all of these pieces look together. So that is for the first layout. Let me show you the pieces for the second layout, and then we'll create this flower that I have set out at the top so you can see how those come together. So for our second layout, we have a shorter list here. Bring in my second tray. We're going to be creating 2 daisies. Now, same thing, we're going to need 2 layers for each of the daisies. The 2 solid layers that I showed you earlier, the 2 outline layers, but we're also going to utilize the inside smaller piece of these outline layers. So because we're creating 2 daisies, you need 4 passes of this die, each of these dies total. I hope that's making sense. Now for the flower center on this one, we're going to use the inside of the ring die. So we're not using the embossed die. This time we're using just the circle from the inside of this ring die. So you'll need 2 of those in the solid red from that Market Bloom paper pad. And again, I'll show you how to put those 2 together. Okay, here's the rest of the die cuts you'll need. You'll need 1 large orange slice. This time I die cut it out of that scallop paper from the Market Bloom collection. And then I added the little double leaf on top. So we'll look at our die set, and here's that little double leaf. I just tucked that right on top of the orange slice. Next, you're going to need 1 large lemon. That's the large lemon, and that's the one with the embossed details right here. And then I die cut out this little stem to go on the top. Look how cute that is. I love that. Then you're going to need some lemon slices. I'm kind of talking out of order, so let me go with the watermelon wedge, which is the one after the lemon. So this, you're going to need a watermelon wedge. This time I've changed up the colors. I did a light green for the base layer. This isn't another stack, so I'll show you that. And then the solid red instead of the pink. So just 1 little watermelon wedge. I can't wait for you to see what we're going to do with these. You're going to love it. And then we need some lemon slices. So I have 2 large lemon slices and 1 small lemon slice. You can see the 2 different sizes there. And then we're going to be using, of course, more leaves and more butterflies like we did on the last layout, but for a completely different look. So for this layout, you're going to need 6 small leaves in that dark green, same one we did in the last layout. And then for the branches, you need 10 of these. It's going to be a really fun tropical feel on this layout. Finally, we're going to create some butterfly accents. We're going to do 5. Again, we're just using the small butterfly, 5 navy and 5 red. And just like we did last time, we're going to adhere them together with the navy one on top using glue only at the body of the butterfly so that we can bend up the wings and get that nice shadow effect of the 2 colors. It's going to be so pretty. Now, I forgot to talk about the photos for this second layout. For this one, you're going to need some wallet-size photos. So these are 2 3/8 by 3 1/4. You're going to need 5 vertical ones and 1 horizontal one. And let me show you. We're going to be putting these into 2 rows like this. The horizontal one is going to go in the center. And on our layout, we're going to build a title right here in the middle that's going to say Tropical Fun. Okay, so that's the idea for that. So have those ready to go. I matted those with 1/16 of a white cardstock edge. So that's what I have ready to go. Now, let me show you how to put these flowers together and shape them. Again, we have for each flower 2 base layers, 2 outline layers, and then reserving the 2 inside pieces with the thinner petals. Let's go ahead and do this. Now you're going to need a bone folder. Let me see if I can zoom in a little closer. There we go. I'll just adjust where my flowers are. Okay, so first up, we're going to use our bone folder. You know when you are wrapping a present and you have the curling ribbon, right? And you take the edge of scissors and you curl the ribbon. That's what we're doing with our flower petals. We're just going to curl or bend each of these flower petals. And for this layer, I am bending them backwards. Okay, now you don't want to pull too hard because you don't want to rip your flower petal right off of the die cut. So just use that. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use the edge of like a butter knife, like not the sharp side, right, that you cut with, but the back side, or even just roll your petals with around the barrel of a pen. That would work too. Now, after we've rolled our petals back, we're going to bend each of them up at the base of the petal so that they're lifted, if you can see that. And that's going to form our base layer for our daisy. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab one of our outline petals and our artiste glue. I have a fine tip installed on this artiste glue today, and we're going to flip it over and we're going to add adhesive to the base or bottom of each of these flat sections at the bottom of the petals. So we're going to adhere this to our flower. So we're going to add just a little bit of dab of glue at the bottom of each one. And then we're going to bring this over to our flower and we're going to rotate this petal so that the open flowers are in between the solid flowers. And how we're going to do that is we're going to adhere this little flat piece that we just put glue on to the base of our solid petal. So you can see that I'm just tacking that right to the base. And then one by one, I'm going to go around the flower and just hold those down for a moment while the glue takes hold. The artiste glue is awesome for this. It dries really fast. Now you might get a little bit of glue on your fingers if you're not as careful as me. I'm kind of a messy crafter, but you can just rub that off or have a little wet wipe handy to clean your fingers off with. So we'll go ahead and press that outline flower into place. And then you can see we have our two layers here. We have the curved bottom layer, and then we've added that outline layer. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the second base layer or the second solid flower, and we're going to add this one next. This time, instead of curling the petals backwards, we're going to curl them upwards. So I'm going to place my bone folder on the front of the flower, and I'm going to curve these petals up. When we have these flowers and we do a different direction with our curl with each layer of our petals, it makes our flower look more natural and more organic. So you can see there that I have curled those petals upwards. Now we're just going to take our artiste glue and stack this right on top of our other pieces. Now, when we add this, we want to rotate the petals so that the layers aren't lining up exactly. You can see that I'm rotating it so that they're offset from one another, and I can still see the other two layers of the flowers. This doesn't have to be perfect. You know, flowers in nature aren't perfect, but it just helps this flower look nice and fluffy when you can see all of the different layers of the petals. Okay, so that is the first three layers of the petals. We went solid, outline, solid with the two base layers or the two larger petal layers, okay? We're gonna do that exact same thing and continue to build this flower, but this time we're going to use these skinnier petals that were inside the outline flowers. We're gonna go in the same order. So we're first gonna grab this skinnier petal image, and remember that first layer, we curled the petals, do you remember? Backwards. So let's do that again. We're just going to use our bone folder to just curl these petals backwards. You can do this with a flower shaping tool. You know, you got the drill. You got all kinds of tools. You're creative and crafty. So there we've curled the petals backward. Now remember, we're going to lift them or bend them at the base of each petal, so that they are not a flat against the thing. So there you can see how they're lifted but bending backwards. All right, so let's add this to the flower that we've already created as our fourth layer. So let's go ahead and add some of our artiste glue. And this time, as I add it, I'm going to offset these smaller petals in between the large petals of the previous layer. They kind of nest right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and stack those and just hold it for a moment for that glue to take hold. And you can see how those flowers layer there. Okay, do you remember the next layer that we did in the three bottom ones? We went solid, outline, solid. So let's do the same thing. We just did a solid one. Now we're going to grab the outline one. Now this is probably the trickiest layer just because our flower is starting to get quite fluffy, but we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a dab of glue to the bottom of each of this little flat outline flower. Now we're going to adhere it to our flower that we're building here. We're going to offset the petals as best as we can. And this gets a little tricky, right? Because we're starting to have lots of fluffy layers in here, but we're just going to take it nice and slow and adhere these little outline base pieces, these flat edges inside the flower. Now, because this is an outline shape, we can maneuver it a little bit. We can pinch it together closer and hold it in a shape. We can kind of shape it how we want because it's a little more flexible with that outline shape. So here I'm just taking a minute to kind of tack down each of those flat pieces. It does not look perfect. Like, it is not symmetrical. And I'm okay with that because we're going to hide all of this messiness, right? It's not looking pretty if you just saw it like that. But we'll have a flower center over this. So that's okay. So we're just letting that glue take hold. And now we're ready to let that dry and we'll form our final layer. Now, just like our last solid layer where we went solid, outline, solid, we're going to curl this last layer up. We're going to curl these petals upwards towards us. So let's go ahead and do that with our bone folder. And then we will add that to our flower. And those 6 layers, those 6 beautiful fluffy layers will complete one of our flowers. Now remember, the first layout has 3 of these daisies and the second one has 1. So if you'll complete these flowers before class, as well as die cutting out all the other fruit pieces before you come, that would be fantastic. Now, I don't know that I have, I didn't die cut out an additional flower center, so I won't show you what that looks like, but there is our flower. I'll grab one of our completed ones so you can see. Isn't that cute? I love this sunflower die. It's so pretty. Okay, so that die cutting completes all of our die cutting homework. The last thing I want to show you is the bases that you want to have ready, and I'll repeat this in class. I'm just trying to cover a lot of ground so that on the day of class we can have lots of fun together. So for the bases, we are going to just use some plain cardstock. In fact, I'll turn this back over to my desk. That will be a better view. So for our first layout, we're going to use this beautiful peacock color vibe cardstock from Simple Stories. This one is, what I love about their cardstock is it has a solid side and then it has this beautiful Swiss dot side that has tonal on it. So I've just cut one down, this peacock color, a little bit smaller, and then I've adhered it to the pine color vibe cardstock just for a frame around our project. Then I use my sewing machine to stitch just with some white thread along the edge. Of course, that's optional, right? That just adds some fun texture. So we have the peacock color vibe cardstock and the pine color vibe cardstock. For our second layout, we're going to be using the same Simple Stories color vibe cardstock, but this time we're using white. Isn't that cute with the tonal dot? And then we're using green as the second layer. And again, I've just stitched around the edge of that with my sewing machine, and those two will complete our base layers. All right, so I did mention that I probably should have showed this to you sooner, but the paper that we're using is the Market Bloom paper. I'll just review real quickly the patterns that I use for die cutting. So I use that pink one for the watermelon. I used this red one for the flower centers and the second watermelon on the second page. I used this golden scallop for the orange on the second page. And then for all the leaves, I used this dark green color. On the day of class, we'll be using this navy as well to build our title, so have that handy. And then we also used I used some of the solid papers. So I used the solid smooth cardstock from scrapbook.com. For the plain oranges in my layouts, I used this orange color in the sherbet cardstock. This isn't part of the bundle, but it is available if you don't have these colors. And then I used this yellow for the lemons, okay? Then for the green in this set was a little too dark for me. So I grabbed the floral. This has 4 different colors of green, and I use this lightest color for like the watermelon rind. We'll be using that for the title as well. So that lightest green color, you can see the other green colors. It's kind of a soft, like a kiwi color. Okay, so I hope that helps. Some other items you'll need for your die cutting. Of course, use the magic mat. Mine is well loved. It's nice and straight. I use mine with my Spellbinders Platinum 6. It's a fantastic product. The mint tape is wonderful for holding down your dies as you're working. We'll use that on the day of class as well. You'll want lots of foam tape. I love using foam tape, so I use the foam squares to attach the flower centers. And then I'll show you more of the products on the day of class. All right, everyone, I'm looking forward to creating with you on March 8th and 9th at SBC Fest. The classes will be pre-recorded, but they will be played live. So I will be there in the chat to answer any of your questions. And I'm looking forward to creating with you and creating 2 beautiful layouts filled with fruit and flowers, perfect for your summer memories or everyday memories, or even like your tropical vacation memories. They're going to turn out really great. All right, everyone, my name is Jana Eubank. We'll see you at SBC Fest.